What's up, everybody? It's Gabriela from the Sea, and it's Valentine's season. Yes. So I thought it would be very appropriate to talk about my ex. Him and I started dating like 3 years ago, and we dated for like 6 months. It wasn't anything crazy, but I just want to take this chance to talk about him because I've been informed um, this week that he actually passed away, and it's kind of shocking because he is a younger person. Like he was probably on his 30s, early 30s or late 20s. I don't quite remember exactly how old he was. It's kind of like something you don't expect. And because well, let's just say him and I met, and this one time we went clubbing. I saw these gorgeous girls, and I was like, I don't know what happened, but somehow we ended up talking with them, and they ended up coming to my ex's apartment, and my ex became really good friends with them. And so basically on Facebook, I saw that they posted something that didn't really say that he was dead, but something hinting that something happened. And so I messaged her. Her name is Paola, and then she was like, I told her, it's like, is Freddy okay? Like, what happened? And she's like, I don't know. And I asked, is he in the hospital? And he's like, I wish. And it's like he died. We we were looking for him all weekend, and the cops informed us that he died. And I was like, what the hell? So that's all I really got. I don't really know like what he died from, or who found him, or how did he get to the hospital. Like, I don't know anything. And for this instance, I don't really want to focus on his death and like what happened, but like on all the things that he did and how he used to be. So today I'm gonna talk about Freddy Rene Pareja. His actual name is just Freddy, but he had a twin brother that died at an early age, and his twin brother's name was Rene. So he always told people that he was Freddy Rene or Rene. So he would introduce himself sometimes as his brother, and he said that he is living for him, which I thought it was something pretty cool. He lived a pretty crazy life. He lived in Colombia, he lived in Spain. His mom is Brazilian, his dad is Spanish. So he has like a crazy mix of all over the place. And he's a very unique person. Literally, I met him because this one time I was going to a rave in Edmonton, which is like a 3-hour drive. I didn't have a ride, and so his friend Camilo, he was like, hey, we have a space in our car if you want to come with us. And I was like, yes, for sure, I want to come. So at the time I didn't know Freddy, and so in the car it was Camilo, his girlfriend, and then in the back it was Freddy and I. And then, well, Freddy was wearing contacts, but I didn't know. And I was like, oh my god, your eyes are beautiful. And he's like, whose? And I'm like, yours. And he's like, oh, I'm wearing contacts. And I was like, oh, okay, never mind. Because the contacts he was wearing, they were like grayish, greenish color. They looked really good on him. Anyways, we went to this rave. It was pretty amazing. We had such a good time. After, we went to a friend's house who lived over there in Edmonton. We partied until late, like 8 in the morning the next day. Like, it was pretty intense. I don't remember how, but he had my number. And one day while I was in school, he called me and he's like, hey, would you like to go somewhere this weekend, or like hang out this weekend? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I wouldn't mind. And like, he was a cool dude. And literally, it was kind of like the most awesome, it wasn't a date or anything, but it was the most awesome first time hanging out with someone. Like, it was really good. Like, I went to his apartment, and then from he lived like in a pretty commercial area, which is like Kensington. And we went to like this, he took me places I've never been before. He took me to this like place that up to this day I have no idea what the place is called, but the ceiling is all decorated with light bulbs. And they had like decoration, like a shelf of like, those like leather masks that are kind of creepy. They look like gas chamber masks, and it was pretty cool. And they had sushi that it was like made out of candy. It was like pretty great. I was like, I've never been to this place. And the place itself didn't have a name from that you could see from the outside, so it was pretty awesome. So after going to this place, we went clubbing. We went to this place that was called Habitat. I've never been there before. The place is honestly very small. Like, I don't even know how to put it in feet, but let's say could be probably like 30 by 30 feet, something very, very small. I don't even know if I'm saying that right because I usually think in meters. So, but anyway, the place had like a chandelier on the ceiling, and it was cool because it was like house music, and they had like live DJ and everything, and it was kind of like rave music. And him and I were dancing away the night, like we were shuffling all night. It was so much fun. And then afterwards, I spent the night at his house, and we didn't have sex or anything. Like, it was just we I just stayed there, and it was like, nothing happened. We kissed and whatever, but like whatever. And from there, like, he made a really good impression on me, and we started going out. And I'm just gonna say that he is very very different. And I got to know so many aspects of him, and it's cool because um I wish we were more friends in the end, because things between him and I didn't ended up in the best terms. But he is a really good friend to have. Literally, he's been here for quite some time. I don't even know how much time really, but he's had the same group of friends for a long, long time. Like, he makes lifelong friends, and he's just one of the most unique people I've met. He told me that he died twice, and I was like, what? And apparently it was because like he used to party very hard and do a lot of drugs and drink and everything. And so that really took a toll on him, and he really almost died twice. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I couldn't believe some of the stuff he told me. I couldn't believe it. He lived on his own, came here with nobody, and he persevered. He had his own place, he had work. So he was very successful for starting everything on his own, I thought. Um he told me that in, I don't know like how long ago this was, but like some years before he met me, he actually had cancer, and like he had like a tumor in his brain, and he received surgery for it. And which is why he he shaved his head. Like, he wasn't bald, but he shaved his head. And he shaved it because he said it grew in patches after chemo. It grew in patches, it didn't grow evenly, so he didn't like growing out his hair because of that. And it's just so crazy to believe that he went through all of these things at such a young age. He was older than me, but still, he was bisexual. So it was really funny because, like, when him and I started dating, a lot of people were confused because they thought that he was gay. Because sometimes at parties he would like make out with dudes, or he's been going out with dudes before. So a lot of people thought he was actually gay, but people didn't know that he was actually bisexual. And that kind of also surprised me as well, because you don't really see that, or if you do, guys are not really open to it, or they don't really admit to it. So that is something that I highly appreciated from him. So we started going out summertime, and or was it more like springtime? And then by the summer, uh, well, he and his group of friends, so like him, Camilo, and his girlfriend, would always go to Shambhala. They've been to Shambhala 6 times, and he really wanted to take me, and he did. He paid for the ticket and everything. And I guess he was like, in the shortest amount of time, he has been the person that has given me the most. And not I'm not talking about like material things, I'm talking about like experiences. Camilo and his girlfriend, they got a rental because his car, they had like a car, but it was like really old and sketchy, and there was a fear that we wouldn't make it. And basically, so Shambhala, if you don't know what it is basically like a rave, but it's like camping. You go camping and raving. And it's this farm NBC. So it's basically like an old couple who has somehow made their farm into a raving campground. It's so lit. If you haven't gone, you definitely have to go at least once. This place is in BC, Nelson, BC. That's where it is. And basically, you get there. When you get there, they search your car because it's a dry festival, which means that you can't bring any alcoholic drinks at all, because they allow any type of drug. Literally, the lady, when we walked in, she's like, "Okay, what are you bringing?" And the guy, Camila, was like, "Oh, we're bringing acid," and she's like, "Yeah, mushrooms, some coke," and she's like, "Oh, okay, okay, sounds good. How about alcohol?" And we're like, "No, no alcohol." And we totally hid a bunch of beer like inside of the seats, and well, it was good that they didn't check this inside the seats. Before going to Shambhala, Freddy actually got like a tattoo on his shoulder, and he told me at Shambhala that the tattoo was me, and I was like, no way, because it was kind of like the face of a woman, but you couldn't really see her face because her face was covered with a clock, and you could only see like her lips, and she, with her index finger kind of like on top of her mouth, kind of making like the silence sign. And I looked at it, and it was actually me because I used to wear long nails at the time. And he asked me for a picture. He was like, can you send me a picture of you uh, doing the silence sign? And I'm like, okay. So I just sent it to him, but it was, I guess I just couldn't believe it because at the time we were already broken up. When he took me to Shambhala, we were already broken up, but we were still talking. We were still friends, I guess. And he still wanted to take me to Shambhala regardless of us breaking up. And I think this is something that I really admire about him because he was really respectful of me. Um, he took me to Shambhala. I expected nothing back. And we, during the whole camping trip, we slept in the same tent, and he never attempted to have sex with me or anything, even though we already did because he was my ex. But he really respected me, and I guess I really admired the maturity of how he dealt with things, because I guess he really loved me. Well, I don't have to guess, I know. But yeah, so anyways, this tattoo he got on his arm, a lot of people knew him because he loved the color blue, and basically he had a sleeve on his right arm which had like a beautiful Buddha that merged down into snake skin, and the other arm, he is the one that he got started with this clock woman. And whenever we went out, like a lot of people recognized his arms and they're like, oh my God, dude, that's beautiful. Nice work. And those are some dope pieces you have on. And a lot of people would kind of like praise him for his tattoos. And he was very humble about it. Like he never thought anything of it. He just really liked the color blue and tattoos, I guess. Yeah, I did acid for the first time with him, and he's like, just relax, don't think about it, and just like flow with everything and blah blah blah. And he was kind of like guiding me through the trip, which was pretty great. And he was on acid too, so it was awesome because we were both kind of like seeing the same shit. Like the colors were so intense, and we were all like, ah! Like it was pretty awesome to have someone experience that with you. And the thing I feel sorry for is that um him and I didn't end up being friends after breaking up, and I'm mostly the one to blame for that. But I wish he stayed around because he's the type of person that everybody wants as their friend. Everybody liked being around him and wanted to be around him, and he was just a person with a very strong um, positive energy. And more than anything, more than a person, he was more of a very energetic being, and he will be missed for sure. I guess the reason I wanted to make a video about him is so people know who he was, um, and also to get some closure, as well as acknowledging his existence and acknowledging his passing, and also to thank them for opening his heart and opening a bond towards me. And I'm just really thankful I met him, and I guess that is life. Freddy was a blue spirited being who loved living life to the fullest. He loved experiences and meeting people on a spiritual and energetic level. I thank him for all the experiences he gave me, and for being who he was. He loved Stitch. He loved anything blue. He loved food. And he loved being loved. So I hope you rest in peace, and I hope your energy is flowing throughout the universe right now. Thank you for showing me what loving a person to the fullest feels like. I felt very loved by you and very cherished in every moment I spent with you. Thank you and goodbye.